Hello, welcome back to the Football Terrace. I looked at the old camera and not the new one. Welcome back. Hope you're all doing wonderfully well. Hit the like and share button. Arsenal versus Manchester United this weekend. And after United having one of the most embarrassing results of this season, being beaten comfortably by Sheffield United, knocked off the top of the table by Manchester City, and with Arsenal the most informed team in the Premier League over the last 6 games, yielding, I believe, I'm looking at it here, 16 points, 5 wins, 1 draw, 14 goals scored, just 2 conceded in those 6 games. It's an almighty task for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Rashford, Martial, Pogba, Bruno to bounce back from a humbling and disappointing defeat. Of course, joined here by KJ. We've got Indiana. We've got Igal. Got man like David. Kesh is on his way as well. We are going to open up the lines for you to call in and have your say a little bit later. So make sure you're signed up to our Discord server. We're going to be sharing the link to phone on that. The Discord server link is in the description below. Big shout out to Manscaped. Our title sponsors get 20% discount off of all your Mal grooming products, including this bad boy. It's called the Plow. This is a great one. This here. An amazing razor blade. Check it. Trust me, man. You can shape up good with this, especially with no Turkish barbers open. Hard to get a shape in. This will sort you right out. 20% off. It's the Plow 2.0, which means there's a Plow 1.0. The Plow 2.0 is clearly better. Get you 20% off. Promo codes in the description below as well. Gentlemen, hit the like button. I don't know if I've said that. Maybe I have. Gentlemen, welcome. KJ, calm down after last night's humbling defeat.
No, man, no. I'm still annoyed at the performance. I'm still annoyed with certain players and how they played. And I'm more frustrated about how some fans, I'm not going to say, oh, the fake fans. No, they're fans of football. We need to address this. They are fans of football, bro. You know what I mean? Certain people, the way they've treated Martial and Tuanzebe and others who I've not seen has been disgraceful. And it just put me in a foul mood all day, man. I don't get it. Like, it pisses me off. But hey, I'm not going to give them pagans any more airtime. It is what it is.
I hear you, bro. Do you know what's sickening about it? The worst part is we all love coming on YouTube as an example here and having a great conversation, praising players, criticizing players, and we just want to talk about them and the game. And then it becomes difficult because you then see, Martial and Tuanzebe had poor games last night, and we want to criticize that. And it just takes away from the football, and it's disgusting, disgraceful, and it just isn't. They get 110% my support when it comes to situations like that. They really, really do, because no matter what they do on the football pitch, that level of abuse is not warranted for any reason whatsoever. So there isn't. It just goes without saying. Absolutely. Kesh is now joining us as well. So we've got Kesh here. And we've got Igal here, Arsenal fans ready for this. A bit of rivals in there as well. We want your score predictions, everyone who's tuning in. So write your score predictions in the comments section below. Make sure you're hitting that like button. We're going to delve straight into this. So we are going to talk about Martial to begin with. And I'm going to go to Indiana first on this one. Martial's really struggling when it comes to his play up front. Do you think this Arsenal game, for football reasons only, it's right at this point to remove him from the starting number 9 position and give Edison Cavani a genuine run at that role?
100%, yeah. Of course. I don't know why we're surprised at Martial anymore. I mean, it's a mentality thing with him. He's got all the talent in the world. Incredible player. When he wants to play, wants to run at players, amazing to watch. His ceiling, I think, in terms of ability, is definitely above Marcus Rashford's, but it's everything else that Rashford offers that puts him above Martial. His work rate, his desire, he can deal with pressure. I think with Martial, he's been on a downslope since Cavani came in. It's almost as if I'm not the number 1 striker anymore. I'm going to have to fight for my position, and we don't see him fight. This is nothing new with Martial, unfortunately. It's him making decisions. If it was me, if I was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I would drop him. 100%, I would drop him and see if he can turn it back on and work his way back in that side. He's got to earn his place for me.
And KJ, what's your thoughts on that, mate? Do you think it's the right time to give him that rest from the first team and to give Cavani an opportunity to shine?
Yes, it is. Everyone knows that Martial is one of my favorite players of Man United, and seeing what he's been doing this season, not just yesterday, this season, has been very annoying, very frustrating, and very upsetting because I saw what he did last season. I saw the player in there, and I was ready to back into the hill. I was like, yes, he's going to go kick on now to become a better player, a better striker, a player that we can use and that we need for Manchester United. We bring in Cavani, someone who is older than him, but also has the experience. You can learn off him. He can bounce off him for ideas of how to get better. And he's not done that. He's not even stayed at the same level. He's gotten worse. And this is actually Martial's worst ever season at Man United. And he's had a couple of ones where you can question it. I'm very frustrated about how it's going. I'm very upset about how he's decided to perform. And it's time to take him out of the team. I'd rather see Diallo get given a chance on the right, put Cavani up top. Greenwood, I'd rather see Greenwood if Cavani's out, get a chance down the middle. And I'd actually rather, right this moment in time, rather see Dan James given a chance because what worse can Dan James do right now? What worse can Diallo do right now? What worse can Greenwood do right now than Martial? They can't. Martial's touches ain't sticking. He's weak in when he's trying to hold up the play. People are complaining. Some people are saying, "Oh, yeah, but we can't blame Martial because the ball ain't getting into the box." Yo, guess who's stopping that from happening? Martial's the guy stopping that from happening. Like we're doing 1-2s on the edge of the box, and his 1-2s are going wayward. He's losing the ball out to old men in defense, and it's not good enough. And right now, he needs to be taken out of the limelight. He needs to be given time to reevaluate what he's doing at Manchester United because you can't go from last season doing what he did, being scintillating, being amazing, being the guy that we believe he can be, to this. It's not acceptable. So take him out of the team. Give him some time to reevaluate stuff, and then hopefully when Europa League comes back, bring it back in, get him some confidence again, and then hopefully we get to see the Martial that we want to see, and we want the Martial that we love. Because otherwise, we have to start questioning his Manchester United career.
I hear you on that. I think you make a lot of great points, and I'm like you. I love Anthony Martial. I've loved what I've had so many great moments from him as a United player, but he's having an awful season, and all things being fair, a few months back when Maguire was looking poor, I called for him to have a rest. They didn't. They carried on playing him, and he came back into form. But Martial's poor form is now protruding on and on. I want to ask an Arsenal fan this question because, of course, we play you this weekend. So what we're here to preview today. Who would you rather see start in that number 9 position on Saturday? Cavani or Anthony Martial?
I personally would rather see Martial play based on the fact that he hasn't been firing. And I'm starting to think this is a man who does not like competition because when every time he's had competition, he buckles to it. And when he doesn't have competition, he kind of performs. He kind of needs that freedom of knowing that no one's going to take his place for him to play well. And if he has someone behind him trying to push him to get to that spot, he almost just lets them take it. And if Cavani came in with his experience, he doesn't care who it is, who he's playing, what team he's playing, wherever he's playing. He's been getting goals his whole career. Where Anthony Martial, we've played him before, and we've made sure that he hasn't scored on us certain games. And there's been times where he scored against us and he's destroyed us. But realistically, I'd rather see Anthony Martial start leading the line than Cavani any day of the week.
And Kes, what do you think's led to this with Anthony Martial? There are some United fans, Martial FC, you'd probably call them, that have stated it's Ollie's tactics. We're not working the ball into the box enough. It's a system, it's a style, it's the coaching, freestyle football. Or is it the fact that the player is just, whether it's mental, whether it's his ability, what do you think's led to him having such a poor season by his standards?
I think it's a mental thing. Like, yes, he's had seasons where he's pulled up trees and things like that, but I've always known the moment Man United gets into a genuine title challenge, he would go missing. It's not really his ability, because I think his ceiling is very high when it comes to that. But if a person doesn't want to have that desire to score goals, then I don't see how you can install that in them. That comes from a player playing as a striker from youth. You want to win goals. You want to get goals. It's like Diaz as a defender. He said, I love the fact of getting clean sheets. Martial hasn't got that love for goals. And I'm surprised that there's Man United fans that are just fanboys for him. When you look at the strikers you've had over the past years, like they the way they're hungry for goals. Like, you lot should always want a striker that's hungry for goals, that's got the natural instincts to get in those areas and be a constant threat. For me, Martial is not in the box enough. He doesn't make those near post runs enough. I don't see him as a striker.
I think a lot of people would agree with you. There's a moment in the game against Sheffield United where Cavani goes to flick the ball on, and I'm not even sure whether he actually got a touch on the ball or not. And it goes across the goal, and it sort of flies across by the far post. And you see Cavani shouting at him, saying, "Why didn't you make that run to the back post?" And look, people can look at that as reading of the game. They could call it intelligence. They could call it work rate. Maybe it's all three of those things together. But I think, as you say, that desire and that want and that hunger. We've seen great goal scorers at Man United and in the Premier League who just were always in the right place at the right time. And it wasn't because they were lucky. It's because they had a hunger to, where might the ball go from this position? I'm going to make sure I'm in that role. So I think it's a fair thing to say. David, final word from yourself. Martial right now, do you believe he needs some time on the bench? Or do you think Man United fans are scapegoating him a little bit?
I mean, I would say he needs a rest, but like, I don't think you've got many better options, to be honest. I think Cavani maybe, but I think like Cavani's a bit Giroud, where it's like it's cool to have him in the squad, but you don't want to be relying on him to be your main guy. I was saying it last year that Martial was just overperforming, like a bit like Greenwood, where everything they just seemed to touch went in, and it wasn't going to be sustainable. So it didn't shock me that his form has dropped, because eventually things just level out. But I still think you should start him. I think overall, like my thing is probably play your best player through worst form in that position. So yeah, that's what I would do.
You don't think Cavani's good enough? Can I just ask?
No.
I good enough to be the main guy.
I think Cavani's good, but I personally wouldn't have him as being the main guy. He is
it's just an age. I think it's just an age
thing. It's like with Giroud. Giroud's you say that Giroud's our best striker. However, you don't want Giroud being your main striker.
You're talking about playing him too much. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm talking about playing him too much. Okay. I don't doubt his quality. I just doubt his consistency.
What about the fact you could squeeze all of them into the team at the same time? Realistically, Martial has played out wide a lot of his Manchester United career. So why can't you squeeze Rashford, Martial, and Cavani into the team?
Because, Igal, it's a good point, and we can, but we've seen it this season. We are displacing Rashford, whose main source of goals and his main form has come from the left-hand side. And Martial's been on the left-hand side to do what? Again, like, it's not like we're moving him to accommodate him and he's been firing from the left-hand side. It's just striker position that is not being played well. It's left-hand side and striker. So to just move Rashford from his best position this season to accommodate a player who's not playing well is nonsensical. Again, if you're gonna displace Martial at striker and you're not gonna play left wing, I'd rather see Dan James, Diallo play on the right hand side than Martial right now.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that, and I think displacing Rashford when he was having such a good season, he's forming the last. Interestingly, look at him against Liverpool at the weekend when he was in his preferred position. He was very, very good. Last night, yes, overall was a really hard game for everybody, but Rashford has been the majority of his top performances have come from him when he's been on that right-hand side, the left-hand side. Move him out to the right, he becomes less of a player. He isn't as effective there. So, for me, we're accommodating Martial, and it's now getting to a point where it's damaging and impacting Rashford's game, and he isn't delivering. So even when Martial's been put on that left-hand side, he hasn't been ripping up trees. If he'd been moved out to the left like he has done in recent matches where Cavani started and he was looking like a Don, I'd have no issue with saying, well, yeah, keep him there then, as long as he's performing, because he's an amazing player. He's just not doing it. Mm-hmm. Speaking of players making debuts, let's have a super chat first here from the Devil's Advocate that says Martial wants to be the number 9. He doesn't like playing out wide. Look at what happened when we brought in Ibrahimovic. And I think that as a reference point, Devil's Advocate, that when he had competition, then it didn't end well for him or for Manchester United. So I totally understand that. I really, really do. Make sure you're all hitting that like and share button, people. Right about now, smash the like button, sign up to the Discord server, share this stream on your social media platforms as well. It's really important that you get that done.
Terry, can I just say something?
A new player in their midst. Martin Odegaard is in. Igal, do you want to see him start or maybe make his debut from the bench? Or do you think this match against Manchester United may come a little bit too soon for him?
It all depends if Emil Smith Rowe is healthy or not. If Emil Smith Rowe is not healthy, and we don't have an actual replacement for Emil Smith Rowe that can play that similar, so we can play the similar style, I could see him get into the team and take that number 10 spot. But realistically, I think he's going to get eased in, and this is what Arteta's been doing. This is what all our managers have been doing consistently. Whenever they get a new signing, they usually ease them in. So I wouldn't be surprised if he misses this game and possibly plays the next game. The only way I could see him starting is if he doesn't trust Willian to play the 10 and Emil Smith Rowe is injured.
I hear that. From a United fan's point of view, any fears of Martin Odegaard? Is it a play that you think they've gone and added this brilliant piece of quality just before they play us? Any concerns with him, or would you rather see him start over Smith Rowe?
And Danny, you go first, and I'll go after you.
I'd rather see him start over Emil Smith Rowe just because he's been on fire for Arsenal. So you don't know what you're getting with him. There is a gamble there with him. You know what you're getting with Smith Rowe and the impact he's having on Arsenal at the moment. They are on fire. They're the favourites for this game, in my opinion. They really are. Their form has been outstanding. We've just had a dip. You don't know what you're going to get with Odegaard. You don't know what he's going to offer you yet. Whether he's going to play him in a big game, I doubt it very much. I doubt it. He might get some minutes, but Smith Rowe's a worry. That he plays with no fear. That kid, I rate him a lot.
I hear that. Kesh, from your point of view, would this be a situation of have him on the bench and then assess the game in relation to, if we're 2-0 up, which we're beating Man United comfortably at the weekend, last 20 minutes, bring him on, giving him an appearance. But you know what? If we're 2-0 down and it's a real tough battling game, let's just almost keep his powder dry and wait for the right moment. Or do you think a player with the ability that he's got should just be walking straight into your first team like a Thomas Partey did?
I think the Partey situation is a bit different to this one. Like, you don't want to drop Emil Smith Rowe, who's been a key figure in this run that we've had. At the end of the day, Odegaard, yes, he might be a quality player, but he still has to get up to the speed of the Premier League. With ESR, he knows the way we play and everything. So why change a good combination that's been working?
Yeah, no, I hear that completely. I think he's looked excellent, and you don't want to overplay young players. I think he's been absolutely brilliant, and it's just a bit of a surprise it took so long for him to get his opportunity. When you think about the dreadful attacking performances from the likes of Willian and Ceballos in those more advanced roles, he just elevated things massively. I want to ask the Gooners another question. Bruno Fernandes, do you think, Igal, that Mikel Arteta may put in place a special plan, may put together a kind of man-marking job or special instruction to Arsenal to stop the brilliance of Bruno Fernandes?
I think the whole team will be sitting back a little bit deeper and not letting you guys hit you guys on the counter. That's where Bruno and your whole attack is the most dangerous. So when we're going forward, we're always going to leave a man back, most likely, and maybe only attack with. We're going to leave at least one of our midfielders sitting back so we can have somebody else to help out in those situations when we counterattack. I'm not going to say we're going to specifically be man marking Bruno, but we're going to be more cautious of the counter and the whole team in general, not just one individual player. That's what I would say.
Okay, and from your point of view, like David, you're going to look at this you're going to watch this as a neutral. Do you think it's about Arsenal stopping the Brunos and the Pogbas from performing, or is this just about them focusing on their game? And if they like sort of going toe to toe with Man United, what do you think the best approach will be from Arsenal to get the job done?
I mean, I think it depends on the lineup that they choose. If they go with a more defensive, like I could see Arteta very easily going with a Xhaka, Partey, like Ceballos midfield just to try and hold it out. Or he could go, you know what, I've got a system that's working right now. Let me keep playing that. I mean, personally, I would start Odegaard over Smith Rowe, simply because I just think Odegaard is a much better player than Smith Rowe, by very comfortably as well. So I would start Odegaard, and with that extra bit of creativity, he also provides a bit of an extra goal threat as well. They could be a serious problem. They could be.
What about the fact that he doesn't have match fitness and he hasn't played a lot of games? He's only played 9 games this whole season, and he's come off of 2 injuries back to back. So it's like it's a situation where I don't think he's going to be ready to just jump right into the team. He can train with the team, but I don't think he's ready to even get right into the game. I honestly don't believe that.
There's one train of thought where you can say you need to play him, and that's there's only 6 months left of the season. If you're doing this cautious approach that we've seen managers do with players where they don't get games for 4 weeks, 6 weeks at a time, you are then just wasting a lone player, because what was the point in bringing him in when you could have done it, you could have used someone else. So you could say that no matter what happens, he needs to get games to get much sharpness anyway. So you just play him in and see how he does, and don't have any expectations on him.
What I would say about it,
yeah.
What I would say about that is this isn't a game to compromise 3 points. Like, I feel we have got a very good chance of getting something out of this game, and you don't want to change a winning formula. The thing with Odegaard is I know the quality he's got, and I know if you bring him on with, say, 40, 30 minutes left in the game, his ability to be in the pockets and maneuver in tight spaces. And let's not forget, this is a kid that's got a pass on him. So you bring him on in the final stage of the game and see what you can bring for the team. But I don't feel you put him in straight away, because remember, he's only played 5 minutes in the last 3 months or something like that. Like, the Premier League is a different ball game. Like, you've got to be up to speed with it.
Yeah, I think all great trains of thought will get the answers on Saturday. It's that kind of, by the looks of this loan deal, it looks like a short-term option. So it's get as much about him as you can. There is a report that's come out today as well, talking about this problem with his knee, which, again, you don't know how much to read into these things. This could just, I wouldn't be surprised if some Spurs fan has dug this out of an archive somewhere.
He actually does. He actually does. Terry.
He does have a knee issue.
It's not really a knee issue. I think it's like I read something, but it was quite a while ago. It's like a disease or something like that. But if you look at the number of games he's been playing over recent games, it's been very manageable. He's never had a season where he's missed loads of games, so it's not really a big issue. It's a minor, it's a very minor issue.
Yeah, okay, that makes complete and utter sense.
There was a report in Madrid, Terry, that said if he was actually like injured, like like he couldn't play, he would have actually this loan would have never happened. And on top of that, there would have been an official report from Real Madrid. I've seen it. He had a ligament tear in his knee, and it caused him to miss like 30-40 games, but that's it. That was the most recent injury he had with his knee.
It's tendonitis or something like that he has. So,
yeah. Okay, that's what it is, and fair enough, as I said. But it's like rivals will always try and pull on these things and always make them sound worse than they really are. It's very stereotypical. We see it's quite a lot, don't we? It's pretty normal. KJ, do you think there'll be a special plan for Bruno Fernandes from Arsenal, or will they just play their game? What do you reckon, mate?
I hope they just play their game. I hope they feel confident to come and take the game to us, because that will suit us very well. We will happily do a shootout with Arsenal and see who comes up on top. And I think United would in that instance. But this is boss outside. Yo, move your boss, bro. There's a boss outside. Move, bro. Anyway, no, but in all honesty, I feel like it's going to be a slightly bit more pragmatic. I can't speak right now. Pragmatic, approach from Arsenal, but they saw it worked effectively the last time against Man United. So why not try it again? Like, I know they're at home, so you think this is a game where they should come out more. But if you're being smart after watching that Sheffield United game, you should be like, actually, let's just let them come out, let them come to us and see what they've got, and we know we can hit them on the break. So I predict Arsenal and Arteta being a bit more pragmatic and trying to hit on the counter-attack against us on Saturday.
Yeah, I hear you. I think that would be the sensible thing for them to do. And they will have to look. And I'm not even throwing this out as salt. Arsenal are going to have a plan for Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba. If in recent weeks, when we've been stopped, they've stopped our creative players from being brilliant. And I know that there's a lot of criticism of Man United at the moment, that when our best players don't have individual moments of brilliance, we struggle to win games. And I'm sort of like, I feel like when they say that, it's thrown out as salt. But at the same time, you are right, but there's no prizes for being right about that. And I'll give you an example. If I said to you now, would you give me an award for saying, if you stop breathing, guess what happens? You die. Like, that's how obvious this individual moment of brilliance thing is. If you're better play, if you're attacking, let's keep it to attacking players. If you're creative and attacking players, shots go wide, and their through balls don't come off, or they lose possession consistently, and they don't do brilliant things within the system they're playing. Invariably, you'll draw or lose. It's as simple and as straightforward as that. So I think it would be naive of Arsenal, with our players versus theirs in terms of on paper, to not have a system where they try to nullify Bruno and where they try to nullify Paul Pogba. If you take away that creativity, I think you've done 80% of the job of stopping us from playing, because it's invariably those two that play those cutting passes that break the lines, that enable us to get in behind and score and create these goals. So from my point of view, I look at him very much and think if Bruno's got the freedom of the park, if Pogba's got the freedom of the park, it'll be a win for Manchester United. But I can't see Mikel Arteta allowing that to happen.
Terry, can I say something? Because I remember the last game we played, and I said it's not so much Bruno that I feel Arsenal to focus on. It's Pogba. Because Bruno's always going to have moments of brilliance. He's always going to have that. He's a tryer. He tries the hardest things. What you do is, when Man United is attacking, you nick the ball off Pogba. And that's how you beat Man United. Because Pogba is always the deepest guy, and if you can nick it from him while you are attacking, you're then on attack straight away, and you know Pogba is not got the work rate to get back in and defend.
No, I hear you on that. That literally, for me, if I was to point out Paul Pogba's kryptonite as a footballer, it's losing the ball in his own final third. He has a horrible habit of doing that, and I think I do get you on that. However, if you don't stop Bruno Fernandes in those attacking areas, in my opinion, he'll still pounce in relation to that. Looking ahead to the actual game in itself, there's so many talking points and there's so many subplots. Looking at the teams that are available, there's question marks over Aubameyang, will he be back? Mari, we know, is out. And there's doubts over Thomas Partey, Kieran Tierney, Smith Rowe and Ceballos. You'll probably find all those doubts that will be fit. From Man United's point of view, the only doubt of a player that we'd really care about at this point, and I don't mean any disrespects to Rojo or Phil Jones, they will be nowhere near this team regardless, is there's a doubt over Eric Bailly. But it's a massive game. As we mentioned earlier in the preview, Arsenal, the informed team in the Premier League right now, which is amazing for them considering that 6 games prior to this, they had the worst form in the league. The turnaround by Arteta has been amazing. Man United lose the longest unbeaten streak in domestic competition across Europe to Sheffield United, which in itself is humbling and humiliating in so many ways. Who, Indiana, is this win more important for on Saturday? Who needs the 3 points the most, in your opinion?
That's a tough question, because Arsenal really need this run. They need this run. They have to get towards Europe. But Man United need it right now to get back towards the top. Who needs it more? I think Arsenal need it more, you know.
No.
I actually think Arsenal need it more.
Stop it.
Stop
it.
No, I'm not even.
Stop it.
How are you saying that with a straight face?
Stop it,
Because
bro.
I'm being serious.
You
That's
can't say
why.
with a straight face.
Yes,
No.
no, it's funny because you saying stop.
Guys,
No.
I can't have it.
You think I'm just bantering, but I do think it's more important for Arsenal, because you have to keep going on this path. A knockback can set these players back. You know what these players are. Man United, we know they dip in and out of form. This has been happening the last couple of seasons with these players. But you tend to go on runs of bad form. I don't think you can afford that.
No, I get where Indiana's coming from in sense that Arsenal need 3 points to get back into the top 4 race and potentially secure top 4 spot, because you guys as Arsenal fans all say you want top 4 and need top 4 to progress as a club. So why wouldn't you need these 3 points against Manchester United? I would say, on the other hand, I personally think Man United need it more, just for the fact that right now our pride is on the line. Also the fact that we've conceded a lead for the league, so we need to keep maintaining our form and maintaining the wins and the W's, and also a couple more losses in a row. You can see yourself where Liverpool are. You know what I'm saying? So the table is very volatile. It can switch at any moment. So I think for Man United, it's more important to get the W. But it's not a laughable thing, and it's not. I don't know why you guys like, oh no, the way you're talking about you guys need 3 points. Like, if you're an Arsenal fan, it should be more important to you to get 3 points than Man United.
No, I
but
acknowledge what Indiana is saying. I believe he believes what he's saying, but I just don't see how you can twist it onto Arsenal and say you don't need the 3 points more. Like, at the end
No,
of the
we
day,
do.
like,
We do need them,
I'm
Kesh.
more-
I'm not saying
at the end of
I'm
the
not
day,
saying we don't.
I want the 3 points, but I'm more concerned about us not going and doing back-to-back losses because we got Wolves next. So for me, if you can nick a point over it in this game, it's not anything to be ashamed of. Like, before the start of the season, I said Arsenal will do the double over Man United this year, and I still stick by that point.
Now,
I actually, to be fair, I disagree. I think it's more important to Arsenal. I can't lie. I think because of how bad your start was, like you're on this run now, and eventually this run will end. Like, that's how football is. Your run will end. You need to maximize as many points as you can get now, because when that bad form comes, you're going to drop back. Like, I'm a Chelsea fan. Our dips happened, and we've now got a new manager, and I probably expect us to improve. So I think we'll go ahead of you. I think United have not secured themselves, but they've already created that buffer where they can afford a couple losses and it not be as detrimental. Because your start was so bad, you need to maximize this run as much as you can.
The thing is, you're not
But if you lose today, and knowing your squad may not have the mentality to kick back straight away. And if you go on a constant one, if you lose 2, 3, 4 games in a row, like we've already seen this season, you will drop so far behind again that to then gain it back will be even more challenging because teams will be then back in their run.
Who is it more important?
I would say, sorry, Gal. What I would say is this: I understand that logic, David, and it's sound logic, and I think it's one where people can disagree with you, but they can't sort of put down the logic behind that. For me, it works. If Man United are only in a top 4 race, then losing to Arsenal isn't the end of the world because it doesn't put them out of that. If Man United as a club, forget what the fans are all thinking and arguing about for a moment. If the players think that they're on the edge of being in one, or they're moving towards a title race, or they are in fact indeed in one, losing 2 games on the bounce for Man United is it's catastrophic because we're currently a point behind, but City have that game in hand, which, yes, it's against Everton, but let's just assume, I think you assume in Man United's position, you've got to assume they win. They're 4 points in front. Lose this weekend and City win, that's a 7-point gap. I don't think this Man United team is good enough to have an 8-point swing with this Manchester City team. It's almost, we lose this weekend and Man City win, I almost think that's them as champions, especially if Liverpool lose tonight. And because there's less people putting pressure on City, I think they'll walk away with it. So I have to disagree in this circumstance, in this context. This is a must win. This is 3 points for Man United that is so imperative to our season. And it's not just that, it's the confidence, it's the bounce back. It's to literally say, look, we messed up the other day, but look, we're back. We beat one of the big 6, which we haven't done all season. You're a big rival. We've stopped the banter online, and then we move forward and go. In my opinion, it's arguably this weekend is now after losing to Sheffield United, it's the biggest Premier League game of the season for us.
Oh yeah, you didn't even beat us.
No, we didn't. Yeah, listen, Gal, I know what you want to say about Man United needing this more, because I know you got a lot to say and how it's more important to us, isn't it? Like, come on, fam. I know you want to say it. Say what you want to say.
Terry said it perfectly, honestly. You guys cannot come out here and try to deflect that we are the favorites. You can't come out here and try to say, oh, we need it more. Realistically, we're on such a good winning streak right now. Nobody's seen us even clawing back into this point. A couple weeks ago, people were saying the season is a write-off. Just get whatever you can get from it. So now that we're even getting back into this situation, you guys are starting to say, oh, it's more important to us. I want to win the game. Don't get me wrong. Every single game is important to me as a fan. I obviously want to win every game. But when you look at the grand scheme of things, the real truth of the matter is, if you guys are actually in the title race, if you guys are actually trying to fight to win the league, this game is more important for Manchester United than it is for Arsenal.
That is true, but I don't think that changes the fact that you're still favourites in this game. This is not me. This is not me trying to deflect. If you look at the facts, Man United's record against Arsenal in the last few years has been poor. Even worse at the Emirates. It's been worse. Facts. You guys are in a four. You guys are in one of the second most informed team in the league behind Manchester City. We've just gone and lost to Manchester to Sheffield United, the worst team in the league. Also, many rival fans and many of our own fans have been saying that in this run we've had, we've not been playing good anyway. So if you take those things into consideration, Arsenal are favourites to beat us at their home ground, where they've beaten us multiple times and many times in the past.
Listen,
I would
on
agree
top of
with
that-
your home point, but home doesn't exist.
Yes,
So-
yeah. In terms of the fans not being there, yes, but there's still
Can I say-
mental
In the back
mental
of the
thing.
mind of the
In the back of the mind of the
Yeah.
players that still know about
Well,
home and away.
the maths
Guys,
disagrees
that
with you there.
doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean anything. Burnley
Yeah, it
beat us
does.
this season at home. Leicester beat us the first time in 70 since 70 something at home. Okay, we've been breaking so many records. We beat you guys at home for the first time in like 16 years this year. These records don't mean anything anymore. Let's be honest.
You're saying that now because you broke a record that you never thought you'd break. If you guys lost to Man United, you'll be clinging on to the record of we beat them so many times at home already.
So, guys, I think there's two things here. There's who's the win bigger for? I think it's bigger for Man United. Man United fans have the right to. Everyone has the right to celebrate. So, hear what I'm going to say before you get your knickers in a twist. That's more the viewers. Everybody has the right to celebrate, but a Man United victory is a bigger victory than Arsenal beating Man United in this context because it pushes Arsenal into 7th or whatever, and it keeps their good run going. But for Man United, the win for Man United is bigger. The defeat for us is bigger. The secondary question before we open up and let the callers come on and have their say, the viewers have their say, is who's more likely to win the game? So based on form, as you said, we'll read out the current form in the last 6 games. I think that's a great way of looking at form. Arsenal 16 points, Manchester United 11 points. Arsenal 14 goals, Man United 8 goals. Arsenal have conceded 2, United have conceded 6. 5 wins, 1 draw for Arsenal, just 3 wins, 2 draws, and 1 defeat for Manchester United. It's at the Emirates. United are under more pressure. I think the Arsenal fans have already agreed it's a bigger game for us. Putting all of that into consideration, I'm going to go to Kesh first on this. Who do you think is more likely to come out on top, taking all that into consideration and the gravity of the game?
I'm going for my team. Like, as I said the other day on the stream, I do feel this is a 50-50 game between both sides, but I just feel that we'll edge it. Like I said at the start of the season, we would get the double over United, and my mind doesn't change. And that was when we was in poor form.
How about yourself, Miguel? Are you backing Arsenal this weekend to get the job done against Manchester United?
Yes, I think the momentum that we have and the run that we've been on and everything and how we've been clicking into gear, we're finally turned the corner, and I can see that this is the game that people start to take us more serious. So we're going to go into this game. It's going to be cagey. We're going to both concede goals, and then eventually Arsenal is going to get that second goal, and we're going to go out 2-1 victors. That's what I'm predicting.
A lot of confidence there. How about yourself, David, as a neutral, before I go to United fans? Who do you think is coming out on top this weekend?
I can see it being a 0-0 draw. I just have that feeling where no one's going to score. Neither of you are going to score. I think you
Our
might.
games are never like that. Trust me.
Yeah, okay, they're never like that. We'll see in it. You'll play. Okay, cool. You can say all of this, but there's a chance. Okay, maybe. Okay, fine. If you don't want a 0-0 draw, have a 1-1 draw. Have a 5-5 draw. It doesn't really matter. A draw's a draw. Okay, I'm not expecting either of your teams to win. I don't think either of you will win.
Fair enough. Indiana, who are you making favourites? Who's walking away with the 3 points?
Arsenal probably, and I think with Smith Rowe, we're forgetting that Odegaard might have an effect on this game. He's come in, and it might make the other attacking players step up. They've got competition now, so I think Arsenal are the favourites. You look on form, yeah.
Audio's cut out, bro. Audio's cut out.
Audio. Can't hear you.
Can Man United step it up? I'd like to see it happen. I'd love to see us go in a big game and see them step it up, but I think Arsenal probably take this game, unfortunately.
And KJ, finally with yourself, who do you make favourites and who do you think is going to walk away with these 3 points?
I personally believe it's going to be a draw in the game, but if you're asking me that question, I'm I'm a big believer in Arsenal judge, and Arsenal for me are gonna. If one team's gonna win it in the end, I feel like it'll just be Arsenal for some way, some reason. Whatever it is, the Arsenal judge will kick in and take over, and they'll get a win. If you're saying which, I think it's 60% Arsenal win, 40% United win. If there's only two options, right now. They are back. People don't believe me when I'm saying this, but they are, bro. Like the proof is
What
in
kind
the
of
body.
reverse psychology is this?
What are you talking about, Miguel? I'm picking up your team. The form that you're in is better than ours. You scored more goals, conceded less. You've won more games, drawn less games, lost less games.
Gal, what I love about you, Gal, is you've been coming on this show regularly for 10 months now. For 10 months, you've cried that people put respect on Arsenal's name, that we praise you, that we say how good you are. Once people start saying how good you are, you're like, no, you don't really mean it. You're lying. You're setting us up for failure. Do you want to be praised or do you want to be bantered?
What pick, bro?
Do you want when you're playing well, you want to be praised? If we weren't praising you,
No, it's not genuine.
No, Gal, if we weren't praising you, if we were not saying that you've done brilliantly recently, you're in great form, you're barely conceding goals, scoring. We weren't mentioning this. You'd be like, you guys are so out of order that you'd be going, whoa, you guys are so out of order to Arsenal, no respect. We pay you respect, and you're like, don't overplay it. Don't try reverse psychology. What do you want? Arsenal getting the praise they deserved, or Arsenal being consistently bantered?
No, even when you're bigging us up, you're still trying to banter it. It's not even.
We've given you facts. Igao, I'm cutting you off, bro. I'm sorry, because you're chatting nonsense, bro. We have given you facts.
Sentence.
Yes, because one sentence was bollocks, bro. Listen, we've been giving you facts. We've given you facts. It's not like we've put things out of the air.
No, you're saying the hoodoo and the judge and this and that.
Oh no, I've said that. I've said that, but I've also said we've also listed the amount of wins that you've had, the amount of goals you've conceded, the amount of goals that you've scored. How are these?
Let's not forget. Remember, you've got generational talent, Smith Rowe, and you got I'm better than Dwight McNeil.
You've got one of the most informed young players in the league in Saka, and you guys have been praising him. We acknowledge that, and now you're saying we're bantering. I don't know, bro.
There's acknowledging something. There's tones. There's tones in a way.
No, Partey hard than that,
right? You could say, for example, I could say to you guys right now, Bruno's the best player in the world, or something like that, right? And then I could be like, yeah, Bruno's the best player in the world. I'm still saying it, but I'm saying it two different ways. That's what.
But nobody said it like that.
KJ, you know what it is? It's throughout this run. And when you come on of the post match and everything, I know what you're doing, innit? But some people just don't get it, innit? I know what you're doing, but I feel it goes in a full sense of overprotection now, where
you've just put walls up, Kesh. That's what
you don't know if
you're
you're being serious now.
But listen. If you listen to the tone of my voice throughout the entire stream, there's been no banter, there's been no salt towards Arsenal whatsoever. So that's why I'm saying, Igal, what you're chatting about, because it's not like the other streams I've been like bantering and saying.
I agree.
I've been serious today. Arsenal are looking the better team right now. Igal just can't handle it.
Don't forget, you've got the best left back in the league. You've got one of the best goalkeepers in the league as well. You've got a good squad, remember. I was saying your squad's sort of good at Southampton. You all laughed at me. You said your squad's better than that. So if your squad's better than that, act like your squad's better than that. Don't sit here and be all like, oh no, actually, we're just let us be. Just let us be. We're doing really well, right? No.
One last thing, Terry. Then we can move on to whatever. Igal is always saying, you know what? Yeah. Let the praise and apologies be as loud as the disrespect. Let it be as loud as disrespect. When it is loud as the disrespect, when the apologies are there, you're like, no, stop saying that, bro.
Yeah, if you end up, if and when you beat us at the weekend, which I think you will, I do think Arsenal will win this game. You'll be like, how do I put this? If you don't want the praise now, then when you beat us, we'll just call you lucky then, because as you said, you were the underdogs. You weren't really favoured for it. You got a bit lucky on the day. I don't think that's the case. I think you've got some really talented players. Arteta's done an amazing job to turn things around. You're the informed team in the league, going up against a team that I think we're like 6th or 7th in the form table right now. We're on the back of an embarrassing defeat. Things look a little bit shaky for us in the league in the last few weeks. Like, this is the perfect time. You've got to think about this. Like, if we'd have played each other 7 weeks ago, I would have never have said that you were 4 weeks ago even. We would have been the outright favourites, no doubt. But we're not 4 weeks ago. And that's the great thing about football. It chops and changes. And I think you've got to take that. We're going to start taking your calls now. We've shared the link for you to call in. Shared the link in the in the comment section for you guys to call up and have your say. First on the show is Zach, who's an Arsenal fan. Zach, welcome to the Football Terrace. What do you want to say?
Basically, yeah, you lot are taking a piss, bro. KJ, bro. Nah, but I know what you're doing, man. I just know what you're doing.
Oh my days!
Arsenal are back, all that. Come on.
Listen,
But you are.
Listen. If you want to, if you don't want to believe when I say Arsenal are back, fine, and I'm cool with that. But when I have said and given you facts that you have the better form, that have the more goals, more less conceded goals, and more wins, how is that me trying to set you up for failure? That is facts.
Yes, but you have to take in that you still have better players. You still have better players than us.
Yes,
who
but
on any given day can just turn up and absolutely.
Yeah, and I understand that, and I've been saying my whole point about Martial is the mentality part. I've been questioning Manchester United's mentality all season, so I don't see why it's inconceivable for me to believe that right now our mentality is not where it should be to beat Arsenal, who are in good form and are playing well.
Yeah, I care what KJ's saying. Zach, we are second, but again, what you're saying, no one's stating you've got better players than us. No one. This is about form and mentality. If we'd have beaten Sheffield United last night, I would have made us favourites. Man United, the biggest question mark over Man United is what do we do when the expectations are there? By the way, if we were to lose to you and then lose the third game on the bounce and Ollie's job was on the line, say we lost 4 games on the bounce and Ollie's job was on the line Saturday, I would predict us to win. Because for whatever reason, in that situation, our players turn up. This is about mentality and this is about how we handle pressure. We have to win. We have to bounce back if we're really in this title race. I've got a horrible feeling that pressure is going to come caving down on us. That's the only reason. Plus, we haven't beaten you at the Emirates since 2017. Hang on, mate. We haven't beaten you at the Emirates since 2017, and we haven't beaten you in the league since 2018. Every single fact, stat, form ratio, mentality element, the only thing in our favour is we do have the best sort of players, but everything else is in Arsenal's favour.
Yeah, I hear that, but what's it called? I just want to make another point and about Odegaard. Yeah, I don't think I watched his highlights in the Liga this season. His style, I don't think it. When you play in Premier League, you don't get time on the ball. But when he was playing in the Liga, you could see that when he's dribbling, the Liga they don't They don't pressure as much as they do here. So if he starts, I don't think it'll be good. I want to see Emerson for a start because what he does is so simple and so effective at the same time. I just want him to start. I don't want to see Odegaard in the team side.
There we go. Listen, Zach, thank you for calling the show and having your say, mate. Really appreciate it. Next up is going to be T Guna 246. Welcome to the show. What do you want to say, mate? You're muted.
Right, you can know.
Perfect. What do you want to say, mate?
I was listening to this stream today and I told myself, man, when they making bad points, to be honest, but in this game against Man U, I ain't sure how to feel because at the Emirates and win a away record this season, I don't think I'm gonna lose a game this season away, and under Arteta we won record ain't really as good as we would like it to be, under Arsene Wenger. But I didn't really know how to feel about this game because prior to that defeat against Sheffield, all 2 of the teams were the 2 most informed teams in the Prem, other than Man City. But I don't believe that these players that we got right now good enough to just keep going, continue this farm. It had to take the youngsters to come in and do the job for me. But I know how to feel because we could see that Smith Rowe is very, very important to our team. and like he pick up a little knock. I don't know how serious it is, but that's gonna be a huge factor because I don't know if I don't trust Arteta to play Odegaard from the start.
There we go.
I believe he
Okay.
will play. I believe he will play Willian before Odegaard because he would tell me, oh, he got settled and this thing and that thing, which I get that, but like we see
Mate,
what Willian could do.
yeah.
We don't know what Odegaard could do. Like everybody can say we don't know.
Yeah, listen, I hear what you're saying. It's kind of hard to hear you with your signal, bro. You've muted yourself again anyway. But listen, thank you. I wouldn't play Odegaard from the start myself. Next up, man, like young Samuel's here. Samuel, what do you want to say, mate?
Bro, I saw the confusion in you guys' faces when that guy was talking, bro. I saw the confusion. I saw that.
I couldn't hear it.
I understood it. He's
Yeah,
not Barbados. You have to understand it. I understood it.
On that as well, I wanted to warn Arsenal fans for today's game because KJ, I see that face of yours, yeah. When
Oh my
you look
God.
at a goal,
Oh
and then you kind of put that bait in, and
No, I'm tired. I'm tired.
listen,
Samuel,
yeah,
Samuel.
we're not gonna win the game on Saturday. We're not the favourites. Listen,
Oh my
you've got Bruno Fernandes on your team, yeah. It's the United judge, not the Arsenal judge. The United judge will come strong at the Emirates. Apparently, you know what? The Emirates is the dance floor, according to you, man. According to Manchester United, that's your dance floor. So come on, the floor is yours.
He's just a Lingard ain't gonna be playing. He's going to West Ham, so it's no one's dance floor, bro. Like Samuel, you're a smart kid, yeah. So you should understand. Like Kesh, when I'm saying banterous things and when I'm generally being serious. Today in this stream, I have not said anything banterous. The most thing I've probably said is Arsenal back. But in the entire stream, I've been genuine. I've been very kind to Arsenal, and I haven't bantered you once. So what do your Arsenal fans want? Do you want me guys to banter you all the time? Because I can do that, but then you complain that I banter you all the time, and I don't take it seriously. So what do you want from me, Samuel? Tell me, bruv.
Listen, I don't want no judge comments. There's no Arsenal judge. It's Arsenal doer. Yeah, we've got no judge at this club. Yeah, meaty gal McDoer, no Arsenal judge here. That's the thing. Yeah. Listen, I don't mind the banter, but the praise, yeah, it's a little too much. Because you know what? With Arsenal, I say this with every team. What can go wrong will go wrong.
You know what, Samuel? I know what you man are doing. I don't know which one of your famous super Arsenal fans online has started this notion, but you're playing this whole sort of. You're doing a bit of a Liverpool here. You're doing a bit of a Liverpool where you want to play yourself down as underdogs so you can overly celebrate if and when you win. And I can see it and I can smell it. I'm honestly, bro, it's like dirty morning breath. I can smell it. Oh, you know, when you ever like spoke to someone in the morning and they brush them teeth? It's like, oh, I can smell it like that, bro. I can smell it.
No one wants to be favourites.
Exactly. Listen, yeah, if favourites don't suit any of us.
Man United had won last night. If our record and our form against Arsenal in the last 4 years hadn't been so poor, right, I would make us favourites. But we're going to the Emirates. You're in the best form. Our record against you is poor. You have to be the favourite. This kind of weird notion that you're not, and it's like, no, whatever you say is going to go wrong. Judge don't exist, bruv. None of that stuff exists. You know what I mean?
That's a lie. Stop lying to the viewers. It is.
The thing is, when we played decent opposition at the Emirates this season, we've been hammered. You know, we played Aston Villa, we lost 3-0. We played Leicester, we lost 1-0. You know, all the different games at the Emirates.
Taken out of context. That's when you weren't. That's when you were. Like I said, what have I already said on the show? If this was 5, 6, 7 weeks ago, I would agree with you. You ain't that same team anymore. 14 goals, 2 conceded in the last 6 games, 16 points. No one has more than you in the last 6 matches. You're the best team in the league in that period. You have to take that into consideration. Samuel, great.
I've got a question for Samuel before he goes. Okay. You say we're favourites, and so how good are Man United? Please tell me.
Well, the table shows everything. You're the second best team in the country right now. So that's what the table shows. You've got Bruno Fernandes, who is one of the best players in the league. You know, you've got Marcus Rashford, who's one of the best young players in the league. So you know, you've got more for you. You've got more individual talent. You know, more individual brilliance in your team, and that's what's gonna make you the favourites in this game. That's my opinion.
You got the better manager though.
Yeah, but anything we say doesn't affect the result. So exactly. I don't get why people are afraid to say we're gonna win. I honestly think we're gonna win.
Wait.
No. I've already said it earlier, and I want to know why don't you guys have confidence in your own team, and why don't you just say it with your own chest?
No, you just said that what we say will affect the result no matter what. So why does it bother you that I said you are more likely to win if it's not gonna matter? I don't get that.
No, 'cause it's almost like you're trying to protect yourself from getting the wrong for saying the
Yo,
wrong.
I've been wrong before. I was wrong about Martial. I called him world class. Being wrong is my issue. Why, listen, yeah, I called Martial world class, and he proved that.
Egal as well. It's not. I'm being honest. I
No,
honestly
but
think.
Terry, stop 1 second. You are completely. You just went in on Samuel, but Indiana and KJ did the same thing, and they said the same fart, and you didn't. You let it slide. Let's be honest.
Hang on a minute. Hang on. They didn't say the same thing as Samuel.
They pretty much did. They did the same thing Liverpool's did. They tried to sell it as we're the favorites. They're the underdogs, even though they're the better team, the better players, the better everything. So let's be honest.
Hang on a minute. Egal. They've based it on the same logic as me. And if their logic is the same as mine, and I believe my logic is right, why would I call them out?
You just literally said that's what Liverpool.
No, I didn't. Listen, if you and Samuel have the same opinion on something, why would you call Samuel wrong for having the same opinion as you if you think your opinion's right and it indeed matches yours?
No, but you clearly think you're still going to win the game.
No. My point is this. I think Arsenal are the favourites. I think Arsenal fans know they're the favourites going into this game, contextually speaking. But they don't want to accept it because they want to over-celebrate a victory. Trust me, I think we're the underdogs, and if we win, I'm going to over-celebrate. I'm telling you that. I'm being completely transparent. Based on our form, the games, go back to what we spoke about earlier. This game is bigger for Man United than it is Arsenal. We know Man United have got this tendency to crack in these big games. Your form's better. Your recent record against us is better. Our players are all at sea. We got battered.
Can I ask a question, though, Terry?
One thing that concerns me.
Can I ask a question?
Go on.
With your opinion.
One thing that concerns me is David Luiz and Bruno Fernandes on the same pitch together. I mean, I'll have sleepless nights because of that, because in the previous games, David Luiz was really dodgy. And you know what? Gabriel's not going to start this game. We all know that. David Luiz is our only real option in this game. So we've got our hands are tied behind our back and we have to play David Luiz.
I hear you.
Samuel, on the other side, they're going to have Tuanzebe or like Lindelof.
I want to go to Kesh here. Kesh, what are you saying, mate?
What I want to ask you, Man United fan, would your opinion have been different if you didn't lose yesterday?
Yes, I've already said that, mate. 100%.
I don't think mine would. Wait. Actually, no. I've been saying this for time. I even said before the game against Sheffield United, I said, I don't feel good about this Arsenal game. I never feel good. Recent years, I've not felt good about playing Arsenal. In the one we played before, in November, who was the only Man United fan saying, we have to be careful how we go about this game. They could easily beat us. Arsenal judge, this is actually not as easy as we think. Who's saying that? Me. You know what I'm saying? So it's a genuine belief. This is why I'm getting annoyed at a gal trying to call me out, trying to play some mind games when I'm genuinely worried and concerned about playing Arsenal.
And again, I would have predicted a Man United win. Our away form this season, as Samuel Super Chat said, is very, very good. But the context of this situation is different. The loss yesterday, in my opinion, means we go into this game under crazy pressure because I think City are going to win this weekend, which means they're going to have, I know 1 of 3 points are going to be a game in hand, but effectively they're going to have a 7-point lead over Manchester United if we lose to you this weekend. That makes me nervous. The reason I will over-celebrate if we win this individual game is because it's another internal gateway that we've passed to say, wow, we've stepped up. We've stopped a kind of bad run of form happening by beating Arsenal straight away. And it's massive for us. The problem is I don't have much faith in Man United when the pressure's really on top because there's no real proof of us coming through. We've done it a couple of times this season, there's no doubt. But this is an even bigger test. This really is a bigger test. So that's the only reason I make Arsenal favourites. And I'm not saying if Man United beat Arsenal, it isn't it's embarrassing for you because we're a crap team. No, I just make you slight favourites. It's not like I'm predicting you to, it's not like I'm going to laugh at you like where we got beat by Sheffield United. There's no playing that down. That's an embarrassment. If you get beat by the only way it's going to be embarrassing for Arsenal this weekend is if we were to pipe you 5-0 or something like that. Do you get what I mean? But I don't see that happening either. We're going to do some more callers. Samuel, thanks for coming on, mate. Really appreciate it, young man. Next up, we've got Stephen. Stephen, welcome back to the Terrace. What do you want to say, mate?
I think the main reason probably that Arsenal fans are probably sort of trying not to try and make themselves favourites is because the amount of banter they've had previous in the season. I mean, there's been a lot of banter. And I feel that though, after watching Man United's game last night, it's now a question of mentality. Whoever comes with the best mentality will win on the day. I think Arsenal have the form, but mentally in a big game, it's difficult for us. And for Man United, it's an even bigger test because you've got to test your mentality in able to go on in terms of winning for the title. So it's for both clubs, it's big. And I do feel if Arsenal can turn up on the day with the right setup, with the right lineup, and with the right mentality, we could actually nick the game. We could actually take the game.
And I agree with you on that. We've got a super chat here. Thank you, Stephen, from Chris. Sorry. But Terry, when Liverpool lost a game or two, you was like, this changes nothing. You are still favourites. Why is one loss from yesterday changing your entire outlook? So, one, it hasn't changed my entire outlook. I've said the whole way along, Man United are fragile when it comes to these clutch game moments. We've all spoken about that. And I said after the Sheffield United game, I would make my mind up as whether we were not in a title race. My mind is actually not made up after losing yesterday. And I feel that maybe after this Arsenal game, we'll have a better picture. But it's because Man United have been failing for 8 years. It's because we haven't been in the title race for 8 years. It's because Ollie isn't a primed and proven and tested manager at not just the elite level, but at the top end of the table in the elite spectrum of the game. Plus, our squad's never won anything major as a collective unit together. For you to compare that to Liverpool, the self-proclaimed the greatest Premier League team of all time, with the best front three in the world, the best midfield in the world, one of the best defenses in the world, the best goalkeeper in the world, the best manager in the world, is an abomination. To compare those two things, it's like comparing, I don't know, Maya Jama to, Hayley from Coronation Street. Do you know what I mean? You can't do these things. I don't know if you'll watch Hayley. Remember Hayley? She was married to Roy Cropper, who owns the cafe. You know what I mean? That's the comparison you're making there, bruv. They're not, no disrespect, Chris, they're not the same things. Man City losing a game that won't make Man City only 5 weeks ago, drew 1-1 with West Brom. Nobody said, see, that's why they won't win the league. Man United lose to a team like Sheffield United, and see, that's the reason why. There is doubt from every which way direction as to whether or not Man United can do it, including 95% of our fan base. Most of us are not like Alfie. So for me, I don't think they're fair comparisons at all. Chris, thank you for your comment. Steve, thank you for coming on, young man. Appreciate it. Next up, we're going to have a guy whose name is Van Persie on here. It looks like he's sitting on his bed chilling. Van Persie, welcome to the show. What are you saying? Yep, you're on the air. You're live on the air, bro. You're going to speak?
Mad delay or something.
I don't know what he was doing. He's sitting there, chilling and waiting. Next up, man like Ramsey in the house. What you saying, brother?
Yo, what's happening? What's happening, people? What's happening? Big game. Listen, I hear everyone talking. I hear the opinions on the game. Listen, there is a sense of understanding I have for KJ in terms of some of the things that he's saying in terms of Arsenal, Man United over the recent years. There's been a slight switch in terms of the results. For a long time, obviously, we weren't beating Manchester United, and then in the past 3 years, especially at home, we're picking up results. My only concern with this game this weekend, in the opposite way of what Terry was saying, is the fact that you lost to Sheffield United, because I wanted that performance to come this weekend. Now, the fact that you have lost to Sheffield United, and I don't think you've lost back-to-back games now for like over a year or something like that.
Yeah,
and you're the best team in the Premier League away from home this season as well. And our form at home has been average at best. So, like, for me, it kind of like swerves the other way around based on kind of what you lot are saying. But there is a sense of like form going into the game is obviously important. But as we saw when we played Chelsea, there was absolutely no way we should have beat Chelsea with the form going into that game on both teams. And then things can change so easily. So it's very, very much up in the air, on my opinion.
Yeah, Ramsey, you make fair points. And this is, if people actually listen to me and understand, like, I've actually never disputed anyone calling Man United favourites. You know what I'm saying? If I was bantering, if I was trying to set you guys up to failure, I would challenge anyone's notion that Man United are favourites. I understand why people say Man United are favourites. I even disagree with Indiana when he said Arsenal need this 3 points more. I said, no, we did. You know what I'm saying? So I understand why Manchester United are considered favourites by whatever metric you're going by. I get it. I just personally believe that at this moment in time, the trust ain't there with me and my own team right now. I'm going to be honest, it's not. So, of course, I'm going to be slightly worried. And the way that you guys are going, Saka is looking absolutely amazing. I ain't going to lie. You know what I mean? So, like, it's going to be a tight one. But, yeah, Rabs, I hear what you're saying, bro. I hear what you're saying.
And it's also the fact that with because of what's happening in that game, it gives Oli a chance to now put in some changes. I know you guys mentioned about Martial last week. There's now a chance he gets dropped because he hasn't been playing so well. Whereas maybe if he played on this weekend, he could have had the performance he had last week. Or do you know what I mean? And maybe him coming off the bench in a game where, you know, he wants to get back into form, knowing that there's been a shift in terms of the form on maybe in the Cavani. It just gives other options. You've got McTominay and Fred. They didn't start on the week.
They didn't start, no.
And Luke Shaw as well. So you got a couple of players that I think Oli was obviously thinking ahead, and maybe that was wrong because obviously he lost the game. But it just means that there's a freshness there about the squad, and it's going to be a tough game. My prediction is a draw at the moment. But yeah, I think
I love superstition. It always part of the sport I used to do. We used to do catters and stuff, and one of the disciplines I was in was like weapons. We would demonstrate your manipulation of a weapon. And I remember one of the first big tournaments I went to, the Brits didn't really do this, but the Americans and Canadians are mad for it. I see that you see them all purposely dropping their weapons on the floor, right? Like their nunchucks or their bow staffs or whatever they were using, swords. And you'd watch them doing it. And I remember saying to one of the coaches, what the f are they doing? I said, oh yeah, they have this superstition that if they drop it lots when they're warming up, they're not going to drop it during their kata. And it was almost like to get the mistakes out the way, so that on the actual moment it doesn't happen. So I get what you're saying there about maybe the Sheffield United game was the blip. And I know that we said it last night on the stream. I know that Cam said it, Canadian Cam, like hopefully, you know, we go on another 13, 14 game unbeaten run in the Premier League now, winning 10 of those matches as an example, because that would definitely put us into a title race, I think. But my problem is it's just that gateway of can we overcome it and not get back into a kind of the rut we had at the beginning of the season or towards the end of last year. It's such an intriguing one. It really, really is. We'll take some more calls now. Brandon's with us. Brandon, welcome back to the Football Terrace. What do you want to say, mate?
Yeah, man. It's going to be an intriguing game. It's going to be a close game. I'm not sure. Like I hear you saying about Arsenal being favourites. I'm not sure who's favourites, to be honest with you. I mean, when you look at our current run of form, you could probably say, yes, we are favourites. But then if you look at Manchester United, say, take the last 6 games, you've got to remember that you've played better opposition than us. You played Liverpool twice as well, you know, in that run. You got a draw against Liverpool. You played Aston Villa. You played Wolves. So you played a lot better opposition than what we've played. So I don't know. It's a tough one to call, but I think it will be a close game, 100%.
There we go, Brandon. Thank you very much. The link, we're going to share the link again in the comment sections below for you guys to come on and have your say, whether you're watching on Facebook or anywhere else. It's put him in. Sometimes it does that. It goes the wrong way around, but there we go. Next up, we're going to have Epic Nin, who looks like he's chilling there. He was. Epic Nin, what do you want to say, mate? Give us your predictions for the game.
I think when you hype these type of games up, it just flat to deceive and just becomes like a stalemate draw. And it just becomes like a 0-0 game in it. But like the other guy, the guy said before, Man United have not lost back-to-back games for over a year now, which coincidentally may give an edge to Man United in the game, but.
So tell me who you think is going to win.
I think it's going to be a stalemate draw.
There we go. Gone for a draw. Epic Nin, thank you for your call, mate. Really appreciate that. Thank you, my brother.
Terry, may I just say this thing of, oh yeah, they haven't lost in a year. People are aware that every time that they lose, they are one game closer to that record not existing. So again, it's a pretty useless stat.
Yeah, I agree.
Sorry. Say that again. I don't understand.
So basically, every time United lose a game, and then someone will be like, "Well, they haven't lost in a year." They are basically
you mean haven't lost back to back?
They haven't lost back to games in a year. They're effectively one game closer to losing back-to-back games.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really mean anything.
I suppose I don't know. I mean, it's like saying Arsenal's unbeaten run. We shouldn't really respect it because every game they were just one game away from not being unbeaten.
Yeah, and there's also a reason.
I don't know. Maybe
there's also a reason for that, because if the team hasn't lost back-to-back games in a year, there's a reason, and it's usually because of a mentality. Mentality is the reason why you don't lose back-to-back games, because there's you get a reaction out of your squad. Now, obviously, it can happen. There may be a time where you do go twice, but then we're looking back over a long stretch of games, let's say 365 games, for example. You haven't ever done that. I don't know if it's Premier League or if it includes
Premier League. We haven't.
Yeah. Therefore, lose. Maybe it's a thing with Ollie to say, look, we're not losing the next game. Maybe we draw, but we're not losing the next game, and it works.
I hear you. We've got a super chat question here. Sorry, guys. I've got a super chat question, which is to me, but we'll put it to everybody. Terry, what is more probable? Man United winning the league or Arsenal? This is winning top 4, but making top 4. I'll go to Kesh first. What's more likely? United being champions or Arsenal making the top 4 this season?
I'll say United winning the league.
KJ?
I'll say Arsenal getting top 4.
Ramsey?
I think it's got to be after getting top 4, but I mean, that's far-fetched, man.
David?
United winning the league.
Okay. Igal?
Arsenal getting top 4.
Yeah, he's always going to pick Arsenal. And I would say, do you know what? I can't. Man United winning the league is more likely, and that's not even salt at Arsenal. There's just too many.
There are too many good teams.
You know what it is, Terry? In both, this question is good because in both instances the same logic applies. For United, there are too many. There are teams that are too much better than them to win the league. But same with Arsenal. There's too many teams better than them to get top 4.
Yeah,
so,
you know what it is? It's like saying, who would beat Superman in a fight?
I disagree. The reason why I disagree is because I understand Liverpool's on bad form and I still think they can get back in it. But as of now, the only team that I really see that's a threat in front of Man United is a Man City, and you've got Leicester, who's the dark horse. But in terms of Arsenal, when I'm getting the top 4, you've got the likes of Leicester, who's up there, Tottenham, who's up there. You've got Everton. There's more teams that we have to worry about.
What about Chelsea and Chelsea and Thomas Tuchel? Don't forget about.
Yeah, I knew it. What I would say that question for me is, it's like who would beat Superman? Who would do the best in a fight against Superman? Like Batman or like Falcon and from Marvel? It's like, do you know what? You can pick one, but they're both losing. So it's, I don't think either of these two things are actually going to happen. So I'd probably put them there. James here says, big up Chig.
Can I say something about
on a real level, just means to address on that Chig thing. Listen, I know what it looked like, but man was legitimately itching his leg. Like on a real level, he's a normal bloke. He ain't gonna do that. Like I know what it looked like, but the man definitely 110% didn't do what he did. But you know what was mad? Like a lot of people started going at him and Lee for it. All it did was make Lee's channel get more subscribers, more views, and make them go viral. It's like you do realize when you like clip people up and try and mimic them, all you do is make them popular. It literally adds. If you really want to like, I'm not going to say what I'm about to say. Anyway, you were going to say something, Gal.
I just wanted to give respect to Ollie because this man is like the Undertaker. There's been so many times where I felt like there was one game away from getting sacked. And I remember this year against Everton, everyone's like, if he loses today against Everton, he's getting sacked. And you know what? Not only did he win, he won convincingly at the end of the day. I think it was 3-1 at the end. And you know what? Since then, you guys have been on a crazy run. And after that game, I think he said, we're not going to lose like this before that Everton game. Who'd you guys lose to before that Everton game? Because that was
been the Spurs. Potentially.
Was it the Spurs 6-1? Yeah,
probably.
So after that 6-1 game, something fire lit under your team, and you guys been on a crazy run. I think as much as I always say, give Arteta respect, the one manager out of all the managers in the league that I got to give the most respect to for reviving his team is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, man.
Yeah, but
I hear you on that. Final caller of the night, Cam's with us. Cam, what you saying, mate?
Hey, listen, what's all this sensible talk I'm hearing, bruv? We're gonna win 3-0, blood. Talking about, bruv. You know who they just lost to? Yeah, I don't care about this, but there's not gonna be a bounce back against us. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, United fans. There ain't gonna be a bounce back against us. It's not happening against us. I'm telling you that now. We are gonna banter you 3-0. And do you know why I say that? And I'm gonna quote KJ here, innit? It's the Arsenal judge because of all the banter that you've been giving us, yeah, for half the season. Yeah, I'm coming confidently with this one. Pogba is gonna be tired. Bruno is gonna be tired. Cavani ain't gonna do diddly squit. I'm sorry. We're beating you 3-0.
There we go. Cam he's had his say there. Has told us what he thinks. Listen, everyone who's tuned in, a massive thank you to all of you. We're back live after Tottenham Liverpool tonight. Make sure you're hitting the like and share button. Get across to that stream. It's already set up. Set a reminder. Hit the like button. Make sure you're there for us when we go live after the game. Until then, everybody, look after yourselves. Take care. Goodbye. Make sure you sign up to the Discord server as well, by the way, and we'll see you.